Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday Yoga. My name's Dora. Welcome to White City Place Connect, where we're providing occupiers of White City Place a live platform to learn and engage while supporting well-being from the comfort and safety of your homes. Okay, so we're going to begin on our backs today, coming into a Garudasana. So if you want to come and sit towards the front of your mat, soles of your feet together, coming down onto your forearms, lifting your hips, reaching sit bones towards heels so you can catch the flesh of the buttocks, lengthening the lower back, and release yourself down onto the earth. Now, if this is going to feel too much of a stretch for you through the inner groins and inner thighs, you can raise the knees, place the soles of the feet to the floor, or if you have any props handy, maybe just wedge a couple of cushions or a couple of blocks underneath your thighs to give yourself that little bit of extra support if necessary. We don't always want to be stretching ourselves to the maximum. Spreading the shoulder blades and snuggling them onto the back of the rib cage, turning the palms towards the ceiling. Check if the chin is higher than the forehead. And if that's the case, perhaps first try to lengthen through the back of the neck, base of the skull. Or place a blanket or towel underneath your head. So more or less your forehead, chin, breastbone, navel, pubis are aligned. And just start to settle. Settling into your body, settling into the space on your mat that is entirely yours. Allowing this hour to be a sacred time for yourself in compassionate inquiry. Relax the muscles around the eyes, around the mouth. Relax the root of your tongue, which in turn will relax the space around the solar plexus, which is a big bundle of nerves that lies just at the end of your sternum, breastbone. And travel a little further down, relaxing the diaphragm and the lower belly. So the breath may feel it wants to travel down also. And as the breath begins to settle, the mind also begins to settle. As we turn our mind away from the outer circumstances of our lives and from the stimulus that we receive through our visual sense, the pool begins to clear. The ripples of those pebbles, those stimuli, the thought energies start to disappear. And just take a few more moments sensing the breath as it is, as it changes. And feeling into how you are right now, knowing that there is no part of yourself that needs to go into exile for this practice. So you can bring your sadness, you can bring your pain, you can bring your joy, your excitement, you can bring your tiredness, your exhaustion, or your heightened energy. Welcome it all. And with the knees still out to the side, let's now take the right shin in front of the left. So you're going to be in a cross-legged position but lying on your back. Sweep the arms out to the sides and take a hold of your elbows. So you're framing your head here. And soften the lower ribs towards the earth. You might feel a need to shrug the shoulder blades down the back a little bit. We're going to circle the arms around towards the right 5 times, still holding the elbows. Begin with an exhale and turn your gaze towards the right so you avoid the nose brushing the cheek, forearms come across the belly, and as you inhale, look the other way, complete the cycle. 4 more times, exhaling. Inhaling, so keeping the arms as close to the earth as you can. Exhale. Inhale. 2 more times. Exhale. Inhaling your own breath. So you may be moving a little bit quicker, a little bit slower than me. And pause when you reach the top in no hurry. Release the elbows. Reach the arms back towards the wall behind you. Spread the fingers. Take an inhale. Maybe we're going to leave the arms here today as you pick the feet off the floor, knees come towards the armpits. If you know you need a little bit more support for your lower back, bring your arms down by your sides. Point your feet like a dancer, and as you exhale, tap the toes to the floor in front of you. Inhale, draw your knees back. Exhale, tap. So just waking up our core a little bit. Making sure that you're not overarching the back too much here. Tapping on the exhale. Bringing the knees back on the inhale. Couple more times. And then stretching the legs up, still with the right ankle in front of the left. Keep a little bend in the knees, so you're just making your diamond shape a little bit longer here. Let's bring the arms down for this one, and as you exhale, you're going to lift your tailbone vertically off the floor. And inhale, release it down. This might be a really small movement, exhaling and inhaling. And the legs are reaching up towards the sky vertically, rather than allowing the legs to swing back towards you too much. So maybe a really small movement, perhaps even hardly visible from the outside, targeting the abdominal muscles just above the pubis. Exhaling, inhaling, exhale, inhale, and then hug the knees towards the armpits. Separate the feet, hands around the fronts of the knees. Feel the length along the spine. Again, make sure the back of the neck is long, chin is slightly in. Start to rotate your feet. First in one direction, and then in the opposite way. Great. Crossing your left shin in front of your right and placing the feet and knees, or knees drop out, feet to the floor. So cross-legged here, but supine. Let's sweep the arms out to the sides. Take a hold in the opposite way of your elbows now. So one that feels perhaps a little unnatural. Scoop the shoulder blades onto the back of the rib cage. Soften the lower ribs down. Circling the arms over towards the left 5 times. Exhaling. Inhaling. Just turning your head to avoid the nose. So you brush the cheek, you brush the floor. Brush across the belly. One last time. Or maybe 2. No hurry, complete your 5. Let your arms rest to the floor behind you. And on your next inhale, slide the backs of the hands along the floor, spread the fingers. Maybe the arms stay by the ears. If you need more support, bring them down by your side. Pick the feet off the floor, knees to armpits. Tap the toes as you exhale, and inhale, bring them back. Exhale. Inhaling. A little spring joint in your hips. Couple more times. Relaxing tension in the face and the throat if this starts to creep up. And then stretching your legs up. So your diamond shape is a little bit longer. I'm going to bring my arms down onto the earth now into a wide V shape for support. Little movement as you exhale, lift the tailbone vertically. Inhale, release down. Exhale, so the toes point vertically up towards the ceiling. So just finding a connection to our core. We're not doing so many repetitions as to really make this a strong abdominal workout. But a strong core will enable us to move with grace and ease through our practice, through our transitions. Just connecting to that core stability. And then release, let the feet separate, knees apart. Draw the knees towards one another, slip the hands behind the backs of the knees. Rock yourself back, rock yourself up to seated. We're going to come into a cross-legged position here. Right shin in front of the left. And more of a square pose as we wiggle the ankles underneath the knees. Shins are parallel towards the top edge of the mat. Walk your sit bones back 1 and 2. So the triangular shape between your legs is a little bit wider. Take the hands, or larger, onto the thighs. You're going to come forward with the rib cage as you inhale, over to the right. Let it hang back as you exhale, and over to the left. Come forward as you inhale, over to the right, hanging back, and over to the left. Inhale forward, exhale back. One more time. Forward on the inhale, over to the right, hanging back, over to the left. Coming forward with the rib cage, and then finding a tall spine right in the center. So the long axis of the spine is aligning with gravity. Take the fingertips onto the earth by the hips, rooting down to the tips of the fingers and the sit bones. Turn your left palm up, take a big upward lift to the left side of the body, and coming over into your side stretch. Keeping the base of the skull in line with your tailbone, and pouring the weight into your right sit bone here, left sit bone even. So you have a point from which to stretch away from. Take an inhale, exhale, turn the navel and heart, and reach the fingertips to the floor beyond your right knee. Inhale, leaning back, arm over by the cheek. Exhale, little spiral here as you reach towards the floor beyond the knee. Inhale, lean back, arm comes over. One more time. Exhale, stretching forward. Come onto the tips of your right fingers also, making 2 little cups of your hands. Rotate the left side of the ribcage towards the earth. As you look back towards that elbow a little bit. Breathing here. So spiraling into the lower ribs, back lower ribs, diaphragm, psoas muscle. And then go the other way, maybe lifting the elbow and turning your gaze underneath that front arm. And just be present to the sensation of stretch as it changes here. Leaning back, bring the arm over by the cheek and come all the way back up to seated. Turning the fingers forward, arms are extending. Come and tap onto the tips of your toes just to lubricate the knees. Exhale, inhale, and the half, 3/4 or full. Exhale, tap. Inhale. Don't need to straighten the legs completely. Exhale, inhale. And crossing your left shin in front. Walking the ankles underneath the knees. Shins a little bit further forward. Walk your sit bones back 1 and 2. Hands onto the knees. Inhale, come forward with the rib cage and over to the left. Exhale, rib cage hangs back and over to the right. Inhaling forward to the left. Exhale back and to the right. And again, inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling, coming forward with the rib cage. And then find that vertical spine. Soften the focus of your eyes. Right here, right now. Fingertips by the hips. Turn your right palm up. Take a big upward lift to the right side of the body. Curling your way over into a side stretch. And turning your navel and your heart reach beyond the knee as you tap the fingers. Exhale. Inhale, open up. Exhale, turn the navel and the heart, reach towards the earth. Inhale, open up the chest. One more time, exhaling. Holding it here, popping up onto the tips of your left fingers, making 2 little cups. Rotate the right side of the ribcage towards the earth, maybe looking back towards that elbow. And breathing into any restriction you feel in the back of the body around the lower lobes of the lungs. And rotating the other way, maybe looking underneath that front arm, drawing the elbow forward a little bit. Just going to have a look, see what this message is that keeps popping up. Just to make sure you're all hearing me properly. So coming back into your side bend and all the way back to seated. Come onto the tips of your toes, taking the hands behind the backs of your thighs. Coming into a half boat pose, or if you wish, you slide the hands along the backs of the calf muscles towards the ankles and take the legs a little higher, sandwiching belly towards the thighs. The big toe joints are touching, and use the hands to spin the heels slightly apart. So there's a slight internal rotation at the tops of your thighs, and you may just be here. That's fine. Maybe gazing up towards the big toes, and then crossing your ankles and flipping over, or making your way over onto hands and knees, however you can. Come and sit down into a child's pose. Make this quite active, so you're going to push away from the palms of the hands and send the energy back through the spine to ground the hips onto the heels. Couple of breaths here. And then coming up onto your hands and knees, tuck your toes and float your hips up and back into a nice easy downward facing dog. Give yourself a couple of breaths here. You may want to bend one knee and then the other. Easing into the tissues in the backs of the legs. Maybe raising both heels as you inhale and sinking both heels as you exhale. A couple more times. Lovely. And walking your hands back towards your feet. So you're going to be standing at the back of your mat. And standing forward fold. Feet about 2 fists apart. Let your head go. Let your head hang off your spine. Rooting down through the feet. Pick up the navel and roll yourself all the way up to standing. Interlacing the fingers behind you. Tailbone drops down. Slide the heart up the sternum. So you can inhale. We're going to wave our body forward here as you exhale. Belly, ribcage, head. Knuckles travel up towards the ceiling. Drop your thumbs onto your sacrum. And curl your tailbone under as you roll all the way back up to standing. And we'll do that one more time, sliding the heart up the sternum as you inhale. Exhale, belly, ribcage, head releases as you fold forward. Have a bend in the elbows if your shoulders feel tight and opening in the palms of your hands. And bend the knees generously and drop your thumbs onto your sacrum, lift the navel, curl your way up to standing and release the arms down. Fantastic. So stepping the feet hip distance apart and taking the weight onto the right foot. Take the left toes behind you. Raise the left arm up by your ear. If I'm not mirroring you, then just, doesn't matter if you do one side and the other in the opposite way. But left arm up, left toes behind you. Taking a lateral stretch of the spine and bending both knees like a little curtsy. Keep the tailbone lengthening and dropping. So almost that same spiraling action that we did in our cross-legged position. You're going to reach forward now with that arm. And just let yourself curl around. Both arms straight. Push into that front foot and roll yourself up to standing. There's a softness in the knees. Let's do that one more time this side. So raising the left arm up, lateral stretch, bending both knees. Start to reach over, curling your way around. And then rolling yourself up. And stepping the left foot out and the right foot behind you. Right arm comes up by the ear. Little side stretch, bending both knees. My left arm is straight, tailbone dropping. Reach across. You're going to feel this lovely spiraling stretch to the side fascial plane of the body into the psoas muscle. And then rolling yourself up. Right arm up by the ear. Little side stretch, bending the knees, and just breathe naturally, so it doesn't have to be any particular breath. But without holding the breath. And then rolling yourself up. Excellent. Step your foot out to the side. Come to the front of your mat. Feet are going to be hip distance apart. Take your hands into prayer position. Knees are soft. Pull the weight into the right leg and foot. Draw your left knee up, flexing your foot here. Without tucking the tailbone under too much. And then just rotating over the top of the femur head, letting your heart rest on your thumbs. And coming back. Knee is rising up in front of you. Open the arms out to the sides, curl the thumbs and wrap the fingers around the thumbs. Place the foot to the floor, feet are together. And as you bend the knees, you're going to roll your shoulders forward, palms face up towards the ceiling. Maybe let the head go. Release the feet, snuggle the toes into the earth, make sure there's no gripping. And on your next inhale, you will turn your palms and armpits up towards the ceiling as you come upright. Release the fingers, take a big inhale. And as you exhale, spill the thumbs down your midline as you take the fingertips to the floor. Inhale, lift and lengthen your heart, keep your chin in. Exhale, step back with your left toes into your lunge and lower your back knee down onto the floor. Walk your hands up onto your thighs, interlacing your fingers. You're going to draw your thigh bone away from the socket. You might already feel quite a strong opening into the hip flexors here. And then draw your navel back so there's a little bit of rounding. There's quite a little bit of tension going on here. Try to keep breathing. Releasing this, taking your hips forward, broaden across the collarbones. Raise the arms, palms face up. Take an inhale. Exhale, knuckles just hovering above the crown of the head. As you inhale, if you can, lift yourself up. Press the palms towards the sky. Right, taking the hands to the floor. Step back into a high plank. Lower your knees, chest and chin, so baby vinyasa. Come through into a baby cobra. Lift your navel. Tuck toes, down facing dog. Float the right leg up behind you as you inhale, pointing the toes. Exhale, come forward, knee to nose. Inhale, take the leg up and back. Exhale, knee to the right upper arm. Inhale, take the leg up and back. Knee across to the left upper arm. Take the leg up and back. Step the foot forward in between the hands. Glide your back foot forward. Feet are hip distance apart. Palms together, reaching forward to come up, or arms out to the sides if this feels too much for your lower back. Then draw your thumbs down towards your heart. Great. Shifting the weight onto the left leg and foot. Pick up your right knee. Pivoting over the pelvis. Supporting your heart with your thumbs. And then coming back. Don't worry if there's lots of wobbling going on, if you have to place the foot down and up again. Open the arms out to the side, thumbs in, fingers around the thumbs. You're making a fist. And then place the foot to the floor. Bend your knees, roll your shoulders forward. So the armpits and the palms face up towards the ceiling. Let your head go. Glue the knees together. And then coming all the way back up. Take an inhale, raise your arms. As you exhale, thumbs spill down your midline. Fingertips towards the floor. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, step back with your right toes. Lower your back knee down onto the floor. Walk your hands up onto your thigh. Interlace your fingers. Draw your thigh bone away and round the back by scooping up the lower belly. Couple of breaths here. There's a bit of tension going on. Pull your front foot and back knee towards one another. And start to come forward with the hips. Turn the palms away. Raising your arms as you inhale. Bending the elbows slightly. And then pressing down into the feet. Pushing the palms towards the sky into a high lunge. Releasing the hands to the floor and stepping back into a high plank. Lower your knees, chest and chin as you exhale. Inhale, come through. Exhale, tuck toes, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. Just noting if this down dog feels a little bit more evenly weighted. Float your left leg up behind you, lengthen the toes as you inhale. Exhale, knee comes forward towards the nose. Inhale, take the leg up and back. Exhale, knee to the left upper arm. Take it up and back. Exhale, knee to the right upper arm. Take it up and back. Step the foot forward in between the hands. Glide your back foot forward. Feet are hip distance. Palms together, reaching forward to come up or out to the sides to come up. And thumbs drop down towards your heart. Shift the weight onto the right leg and foot. Pull the weight into that leg. Left knee lifts. Good. Pivot forward once again. Coming back, knee up in front of you. Open the arms, thumbs in, fingers around the thumbs. This time the ball of your left foot comes over. So the heel is lifted. Roll the shoulders forward as you come over your legs. Rooting down to the legs to feel the hips rising towards the ceiling or sky. And then take the fingertips onto the floor in front of you. Pick up your left foot. So you're going to squeeze your inner thighs towards one another. Bend your supporting legs. You've almost made a little shelf there. And see if you might come up here, hands to heart. So we've got a little Garudasana leg here, but without the double bind. Left thigh over right. Left toes extending. And rising up with the knee, diving back, taking the fingertips to the floor. With the back knee staying off the floor this time. Roll the inner groins towards the pubis. Walk your hands up onto your thigh. Draw the thigh bone away. Bend the back knee a little bit and round the back. So you're going to be stretching into that big, thick muscle of the psoas muscle where it attaches to the spine. And all the way around into the iliopsoas muscle where it attaches to the top of the femur head. Draw the navel back. Keep the breath smooth. Try to release tension in the face and the jaw. And then extend this. And feel that lovely release. Take an inhale. Raise the arms. Keep your right knee pressing back. Back heel to the floor. And just rotate the rib cage into a warrior two, but with the arms lifted. As you begin to straighten that leg, that front leg, swing the hips back, open the arms into Trikonasana. Utthita Trikonasana. Adjust the feet if you need to. Reach out in all directions. You may want to stay here refining this pose, or start to turn the palm towards the wall to the left of you, towards the wall behind you. So really it's a rotation of the shoulder rather than just the hand turning. And imagine now you were pushing back a curtain with that hand. Keep the connection in your core, so it's just the heart starting to spiral. It's quite a strong stretch with the shoulder, so you don't overdo it. And taking the arm back. Maybe the arm comes over by the cheek with the palm facing upwards. So you're reaching out from fingertip through to outer heel there. Sweep that left arm onto the side of the body. Right arm perhaps reaches back, interlacing the fingers and bending your right knee. Maybe settling the right upper arm or shoulder onto the knee. Turn your shoulders square over that front leg. My right shoulder is resting on the knee. Swivel up the back heel. How is your breath? Take the hands to the floor. Step back into a high plank. Lower knees, chest and chin as you exhale. Inhale coming through. Exhale, tuck toes. Downward facing dog. Let's go the right leg up behind. Lengthening your toes. Come high up onto the ball of your left foot so you've made a little bit more space. Bend the knee through, step the foot in between the hands. Glide your back foot forward, feet are hip distance apart. Take an inhale, come all the way up to standing. And as you exhale, draw your thumbs down your midline to your heart. Pouring the weight into the left leg and foot. Right knee rises. Pivoting the pelvis over the supporting leg. Coming forward. Raising the knee up in front of you once again as you come upright. Arms out to the sides, thumbs in, fingers wrap around. Place the ball of your right foot over your left and roll the shoulders forward. So you come over your legs, right heel lifted. Soften in the supporting knee. And release the fingertips onto the earth in front of you. Pick up your right foot and squeeze the inner thighs together. Bend your supporting leg, and it's that squeeze of your legs which may enable you to come upright here into a variation of Garudasana legs. Raising the knee up, reach the arms towards the sky, dive back with those toes, fingertips to the floor, keeping your back knee off the earth. And walking yourself up onto the thigh, interlacing the hands, soften the back knee. There's a rounding in the back here as you draw your thigh away from you. Try to keep the breath smooth, circular. And then extending away, straightening your leg. Raising up your arms, back heel comes down, keep the left knee pressing away. Rotate your chest into a warrior two. And as you straighten up that front leg, swing your hips back, open up the arms. Let the left hand fall onto the shin where it wants to. And wiggling out of your spine, just coaxing a little bit more space into the body. You can stay here, come out when you need to. Start to turn the shoulder, palm faces the wall, and maybe the wall behind you. And as if you're opening a curtain with that hand, keep a connection between your navel and pubis. Start to press the palm back. Heart turns towards the ceiling. And then bringing the arm back. And the arm over by the cheek, palm facing up, stretching up along the top edge of your body. Right arm comes down, left arm releases behind you, so perhaps you're interlacing the fingers. Bending your left knee, settling yourself over or on top of that thigh. And squaring the shoulders towards the knee, swivel up your back heel, and of course you may need to take your hands to the floor at this point. Take the hands to the earth, step back into a high plank. Lower your knees, chest and chin to the floor. Lengthen through with the heart. Exhale, tuck toes, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here, just coming home to this pose. Just dropping everything you've done, any thoughts, any judgments, any expectations for what's to come. And floating your left leg up behind you. Come high onto the ball of your right foot. Look forward as you bend your knee through. Step the foot in between the hands and glide your back foot forward. Palms together as you reach forward to come up or out to the sides. And exhale, draw your thumbs down your midline. Last vinyasa as you inhale, reach up, exhale, spill the body, take the fingertips to the earth. Step back with your left toes and spin the back heel in and down. This is a warrior one stance, so you might want to wiggle your right foot over towards the right thumb so you've got a little bit more width. Lifting your right hip up and back in space. Take the arms out to the sides as you inhale. Pause, so retain the breath as you reach up, and then exhale, come forward. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, arms out to the sides. Pause as you reach up. Exhale, come forward. 1 more time. Inhale, arms out to the sides. Retain as you reach up. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Maybe this time you're beginning to straighten that front leg. Forehead towards the shin. Couple of breaths here, rooting down through both legs. Bending your front knee, walking your hands up onto your thigh. So drawing your thigh bone away, I'm going to take that same little round that we did, scooping up the lower belly. This time reaching your left arm forward and veering the shoulders slightly across towards the right. And it's a little tricky to breathe here. Just do the best you can with a smooth circular breath. To access the psoas muscle, we take a lateral stretch with a little spiral. And then as you square your shoulders back towards the knee, extend through the spine. Coming upright, just turn your right fingers forward, reaching up with your left arm. And take the hands to the floor. Swivel up your back heel. Lower the back knee down. Lengthen your toes. Be up on the tips of your fingers. Press onto the top of the foot. Lift the knee slightly. And then from your core, you're going to drag that foot and shin so the knee comes to the outside of the foot. And you can sit down. So you're going to have your right foot over the top. Settle yourself here towards the earth, making sure you're not sitting on your foot. And taking a close twist. Left hand onto the knee, right thumb behind you. So you're moving towards that bent knee. Rolling your outer right hip around and down. Turn your gaze towards the back shoulder. And lower the chin towards the armpit. So you might feel this spiraling through the fascia from your right hip as it roots across the back, all the way up to the back of the neck, base of the skull. And release yourself around here. Let's take a counter twist. So take the hands away from your body. Let your right hip lift. Rotate the left side of the ribcage towards the earth and look back. And pushing into the hands. Either crossing the ankles and flipping over this way into your down dog, or any way that you feel you can as you stretch back. So just give yourself a nice big even stretch out here. And walk your feet forward towards the front of the mat. Bring your palms together, reaching forward and up and or out to the side to come all the way up. Exhale, spill your body to the earth. Last side. Lift and lengthen your heart. Step back with your right toes into your lunge. And place the heel in and down for a warrior one. Lift the left side of your hip up and back. As you inhale, arms float out to the side. So you retain the breath as the arms lift up, and as you exhale, come forward. Inhale, arms come out to the sides. Pause as the arms reach up. Exhale, come forward. Inhaling. Pause. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Begin to straighten your front leg. If you feel you can, forehead traveling towards the shin. Rebend your knee, walking your hands up onto your thigh. Draw the belly back. Reaching your right arm forward and letting the shoulders veer across towards the left. And as you come back through to the center, there's an extension through the side body, through the inner seam of the spine. As you come upright, the left fingertips point towards the knee. Right arm rises. And hands are going to come to the floor. Swivel up your back heel, lower the back knee down, extend your back toes, come onto the tips of your fingers. And pressing onto the top of the foot without sickling, maybe the knee lifts a little bit. From your navel, from your core, drag that toe or top of the foot and shin so you can place the knee outside of your left foot and come and sit down. So you're going to have your left foot over the top, settling your sit bones to the earth. Right hand to the outside or top of the knee, left hand behind you as you rotate, allowing some of the weight to pour into that left hip, left sit bone. Turn your gaze towards the back shoulder and lower the chin towards the armpit. And maybe feel that fascial web from your left hip spiraling across the back of the body and all the way up to the base of your skull. Feeling that connection. Fascia connects everything to everything. It's that gluey, liquid-filled matrix of connective tissue that wraps around the organs. And float ourselves around to the front and walk the hands away from you, letting your left sit bone lift, rotating the left side of the ribcage towards the floor, looking behind you. And then coming back here. And before we take our last down dog, perhaps just coming back into a boat pose, tips of the toes, hands behind the knees, half boat pose. Or maybe the hands slide up the backs of the calves towards the ankles. Just give yourself a little hug there. Big toe joints are touching. Use the hands to spin the heels slightly away from one another. And then however you can, crossing ankles. Any other way, step back into your last downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. Lowering your knees to the floor, flattening your feet, coming to sit down in a child's pose. Letting your breath settle, giving the energy back to the earth. Start to curl your way up. To sit on the heels. Bringing your knees together, sinking your hips over to one side and stretching the legs out. So as we come to the front of the mat, feet hip distance apart, imagine you had a block, you may actually have one to place in between your thighs. It's squeezing that block with your thighs just to engage the deeper abdominal muscles and the muscles around the hip flexors for that core support once again. So either squeezing the block or imagining squeezing the block. It will have a similar effect. Start to roll yourself down to the earth. Draw your right knee towards your chest and stretch your left leg along the earth. Back of the neck is long and soft again. And slightly in. And maybe half straighten the right leg. So it's almost that position we had when we were standing. Right arm comes out to the side. Right leg's going to come across your body and you can either support it from underneath with your left hand like a shelf. It's quite a nice option. Elbow on the earth so the leg doesn't come over so far. Or you can take the leg further and take the hand over the top. I'm just going to take a supported variation today. Turning head towards the right arm. The bottom leg, there's some energy there extending outwards. And rolling back, curving the right knee in. Changing legs, left knee comes towards you, right leg extends. Left leg half straightens, arm comes out to the side, take the leg across, making a little shelf with your right hand. Maybe the elbow comes to the floor. Turning your gaze towards the left, or just up towards the ceiling. Rolling onto your back. Hugging the knee in, hugging the right knee in also. Little gentle rock across the sacrum or anything else that helps you to feel you've released as much tension as possible. And so you can be comfortable in your final moments of stillness. Either knees bent or legs outstretched in Shavasana. And just do a little wiggle, a little snuggle into the earth. And the first few moments, there's just an awareness of the natural breath. Which after a while that attention that focus will naturally diffuse, and that's fine. Feel the weight of your bones. Let the muscles lose their grip on the bones. Feel the spaciousness in the joints. Go a little deeper, relaxing the fascia, that connective tissue that winds its way around the organs. Relaxing the organs themselves, including the organ that is the brain. Of course, if you feel you wish to stay here a little longer, just let my next words wash through you. If you would prefer to come to seated to close your practice with me, then start to make your way back into your body. Take your time coming back to your breath. Orientate yourself back into the room that you're in. And make your way over to the right side. And when you're ready, back to a comfortable seat. Bring your hands to your heart in prayer. As we close our practice together, bow your head towards the tips of your fingers. And as you gaze towards your heart space, take a moment to thank yourself for making time to practice today. And when you're ready, raise your gaze. Namaste. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope the rest of your week is peaceful. Take care, and I hope to see some of you next week.